Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pretty Little Podcast. I'm Allie, Violet Vixen Commissaro, and
I'm Jessie. Welcome back, guys, another week.
so imagine My Chemical Romance and Paramore had a musical baby. That would be Air Drawn Dagger. Their music is like a roller coaster for your emotions, mixing punk vibes with a bit of hardcore edge. Get ready for a sound that is as deep as it is catchy. Let Air Drawn Dagger be the soundtrack to those moments when you just want to feel something real. Hey guys!
Hey.
How you doing tonight?
That was awesome. That was such a nice introduction.
Great intro. I'm hyped.
I'm looking forward to it.
So how you guys doing tonight?
Good. Yeah, good. It's quite late for us. What are we on, like 11 p.m.? So
yeah, but thank you for having us. Yeah,
it's really great to be on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. So let's take a minute. I want to give you a second to introduce yourselves.
Oh, so I'm Maisie. I do vocals for Air Drawn Dagger.
Yeah, I'm Lewis. I play guitar for Air Drawn Dagger.
I'm so excited to have you here tonight. So let's just jump right in. How did Air Drawn Dagger come together as a band?
Yeah, we met in Sheffield. That's where we're based in the UK. I was here for university. I was looking to start a band, was meeting random different people. It wasn't really working, wasn't really finding the right people. And then eventually found Maisie, and we started writing in the back of her cake shop after hours, and immediately just sort of like, as you mentioned, the sort of like My Chem and those sort of bands that we sort of grew up on. We just sort of like clicked in and started writing music pretty much straight away, wasn't it, Maisie? I think.
Yeah, definitely. Like we had kind of like mutual, like you said, like mutual kind of genre interests, and we kind of did a couple of covers like the first session. Then after that, we were like, let's just start writing our own stuff, like scratch the itch.
We were quite impatient, so we just haven't stopped since.
So speaking of your cake shop, I heard that you guys had closed it out a little bit during COVID. I heard you're reopened or reopening?
No. I've had a few people asking me this, so I don't know where this has come from, but no, we're not reopen at the moment. We closed down actually way back in like 2019. So kind of before COVID, because the band just got too busy. So it was just me and my partner kind of doing 18-hour shifts in there. So we were just like, this is too much and I'm busy. So we closed down. We don't have plans to open at the moment, but we're kind of never say never with it. So maybe one day.
Oh, okay. I believe it's circulating on social media.
Oh, okay. I'll have to find out when this, or maybe I'll just spread the rumors even more.
Yeah, it's me. I'm leaking false information for press.
You never know. Right? You can start a GoFundMe and be funded before you even realize it.
Yes, that's true.
So I gotta ask, what's the story behind your name, Air Drawn Dagger? So cool.
Oh yeah, that'd be me. I was doing English as a university, English and film, and I think I was procrastinating and found some sort of thread that was like Shakespeare references throughout, usually books and films and stuff like that, and realized that one hadn't really been used properly. And I was like, we were looking for band name at the time. It's really hard to find band names when you're actually looking for one. I feel like it's something that you think, oh, that'd be a good band name like a million times a day, but when you actually need one, they're really scarce to find one that's the one that works. And I feel like the 3 name thing always stood out to us as well, because we were a fan of a lot of like sort of like noughties and like emo stuff. And there's just so many great 3-name bands. So
ASI, Fire Inside, all those like
like syllables like Atreyu and stuff. Just they stick like a little brain scratch. So I don't know. That sort of was a deciding factor as well, I guess.
Awesome. So can you describe your music in 3 words?
Do you want to take this, Maisie? What do you think?
I'll give you each 3 words.
Oh, okay. We can do 3 words each. I'm going to go for chaotic, unhinged,
tantrums.
I think that's our three. That's our
Yeah,
three.
unhinged tantrums. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. Like emotional outbursts has been used before as well, links into the name. So I was like, yeah, that seems like it feels right, you know.
So with everybody mixing genres, what would you consider your genre?
I don't know. We've just called ourselves a rock band because there's guitars and drums, and don't get too deep about it after that, really. Because I know, like with the EP coming out, everyone's like, "Oh, it's a throwback. Oh, it's emo and stuff." And yeah, that's probably about right too. But I wouldn't want to pigeonhole it any further than that because the next EP or album or whatever could be completely different. And something we've always liked doing is like blending genres from the get-go. So that's why there's always been synths involved, there's been strings, there's been 808s and like hip hop and trap beats and stuff, because we love all that stuff and we like it to be one big melting pot. So yeah, genres have we don't lose sleep over it, you know, people can call it what they want.
So who are some of your musical influences? Like I did say My Chemical Romance and Paramore, but who are some of your personal also?
Yeah, we have between us, we have quite a mixed bag of influences. Like we have, I think we all kind of individually have a lot of sort of metal influence, but from different kind of sides of metal as well. And then there's a lot of sort of like hip hop influence in there. And yeah, we have like a lot of like mutual bands that we listen to, like My Chemical Romance, Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, Creeper. But then we have our own completely separate things that maybe don't cross over so much, but yeah. The tour van is always an interesting playlist. So
yeah, it's really all over the show, isn't it? We all grew up on very like crazy spectrums of music as well. Like I know Maisie listened to like a lot of punk and then a lot of your glam rock phase that you went through.
Yeah, I was like hugely into glam rock when I was like 12. So I was like Motley Crue was like my favorite band when I was 12.
And now you just listen to Ash Nico, so you
know,
we're kind of similar Venn diagram.
I was gonna say like that chaotic energy for both of them, like Too Fast for Love, like in both genres, like that is the theme.
Yeah, exactly. Just big hair. That's all it is. That's all I really care about.
It's all about the hairspray. That's it. Your favorite genre, hairspray.
Well, since you said chaotic as one of your words to describe your band, what's one of your most memorable moments from one of your live shows?
I'm sure we have very different ones. For me, I don't know why. Instantly, when you asked that, being dropped crowd surfing really hard just immediately sprang to mind. So that's probably what mine is. I got dropped so hard I got winded and I couldn't see anything. And everyone was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm fine." I wasn't okay, but but we got there. So yeah, being dropped really hard was probably mine.
Yeah.
What about you?
That was pretty messed up. Even it was a festival, like an indoor festival thing, and the guy. Luckily, it was the end of the set, but the compare MC promoter guy, you know, who's going to introduce the next band, was like, "Is she okay?" Like,
man. That's like, how you know it. You're like, that's how you know everybody.
If they stop the show to like address it, you know you're.
Yeah, I was like, it wasn't that bad, but then he was like, "You okay?" I was like, "Oh no, maybe no one would have noticed if you hadn't have called it out." No. Obviously, everyone noticed. Yeah.
Oh, they did. They saw you get dropped on your neck. Yeah, it was pretty bad, but funny though. I thought about something that was kind of wholesome, which was. Recently we got to play up in Scotland and there was moshing and stuff, but because it was like an all ages show, there was that kid breakdancing at the front, like just not real breakdancing, doing what kids think's breakdancing, but he was throwing down and like no one was acknowledging it, and it was like in my eye line I was like, this is hilarious, this is very amazing. It's chaotic energy, but it was wholesome, it was nice.
Just feeling it.
I was just saying that because this weekend I had gone to a show and some friends of mine were playing and they actually pulled all the kids on stage, like out of the mosh pit, like pulled them up on stage and like gave them their own little shout out and like let them be part of the one song. It was really cute.
That's cute.
I love to see it.
So I have to ask, how do you approach songwriting as a band?
kind of changes each time, really. There's no real rules or anything. It's like, if you've got an idea, bring it or demo it. We're all getting used to doing our own demos after post-COVID, and then bringing stuff together. A lot of the time it'll be like, we used to write acoustically, like cake shop days and stuff, so we still go back to that sometimes. Or if a demo is getting a bit muddy, we'll just strip things back completely and we'll just get the acoustic out and be like, is this a good song? Is this working? Is this chorus good? But yeah, it can range quite a few ways, really, can't it? I'll normally start a demo myself and then I'll take it to Maisie and we finish writing the song, the top line and stuff. And then Ross, our drummer, brings in production elements after that a lot of the time. But yeah, it can change. There's no set formula, really.
So are there any specific like themes or messages that you aim to convey through your music?
We don't really have like kind of like set, like we never really set out to be like, oh, we're only going to write about this. I think a lot of our political views come through a lot of the time, but then we also have, there's kind of almost like the two sides to it, where we do a lot of like our kind of political stances, but then we also do a lot surrounding like mental health and that sort of thing. So just like anything that's important to us at the time, there's not really any there's nothing that we can't really touch on, but we always bring the metaphors in, always make it spooky.
If you could do a collaboration with anyone that's alive or dead, who would you collab with?
Oh, this is such a heavy question, because I could pick 1,000 people. Oh man, where do you start? Where would you want to start, Maisie?
This is that one big show. You're getting that phone call.
Is this a live setting, or is this going to be like a studio thing? I need to know the small print.
It would. Good question. It would be a live show.
Oh,
okay.
Somebody's calling you to play a live show with them.
As a support band.
It can be anyone.
I mean, I feel like if we ever supported My Chemical Romance, then we could quit music. Like,
you'd give up. You could give up, and you could
done.
Keel over and wait for death, couldn't you? Really? Because
it's like, that's me finished,
completed.
They are incredible. I saw them in concert years ago, and just their whole stage presence and everything, just 100% on point.
Yeah, they're the best.
Saw them with Linkin Park. It was Linkin
So
Park.
did I.
Oh, Project Rev.
And him.
Oh, incredible.
Tour, man.
Oh,
that's so funny. That was the one I was talking about.
Yeah, you went to that too?
Yes.
It was pretty sick. It was a sick tour, man.
Pretty sick is such an understatement.
I know, right?
It's like the peak of music. Wow,
So
that's incredible.
how do you balance individual creativity within the group dynamic?
I would say we'll kind of have different areas that we put our creativity out. So I kind of delve deeper into like the music video stuff. Like, I'm a little bit more involved with that. Ross is a bit more involved with production. Lewis is super into like, to be fair, like Lewis brings a lot of the like original, like the written, like he'll bring a riff. I'll be like, that's the start of the song, but he's also really does all of like the marketing stuff. Like, he's incredible with that. So yeah, we all have our own little pockets.
Yeah, we all have our own skill sets, and we know it. Like, I think because we were independent for quite a while, without any like grown-ups in the room, it made us all gravitate to our own sort of interests and jobs and things we knew we were good at and wanted to improve on. So yeah, Ross with like production, or Maisie with video stuff, it was just like how our brains work, and then we're pretty good at just, well, you're the best at that, so that we'll leave you to that kind of thing. And yeah, it's the best way to get
definitely
things
working.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
Can you share a funny or interesting fan interaction?
I've got one that pops first time we met.
Go for it.
The first time we met Connor, he met us for like a week or seen a YouTube video, came to see us live, and got his first tattoo, which was our logo, on his wrist. It's not even
They're just like really visible.
Yeah, it's a freaking wrist. Like, it's not like, oh, I got a little thing. He was like, I wanted to get a tattoo. I just found your band and come see you live. And then he just sent us a message. It's like, got it on my wrist. Like,
he's a forever fan.
Yeah. So that was pretty crazy. That was like one of those things you never think is going to actually happen, and then
and then it happens, and then you're like, whoa.
You got pictures of him like holding it up.
Yeah. It's really funny too, because he got this version of the logo like just before we changed it too. And he got it with like an extra, had like an eye on it, and like we got rid of that just because it was on a t-shirt. We were just like moving on from it. So he got an old logo, and like the next week we changed it, and then he sent us a picture. So yeah, that's on us, I guess.
Old school.
It shows one,
he's an OG fan.
Exactly. A badge of honor, I guess.
So any fan moments stick out with you, Maisie?
I really like it when, like, it's only happened a handful of times, but when people like draw pictures of me, like, especially like I've had it a few times where people draw them while I'm on stage, and they'll just come up to me and be like, I drew this while you're on stage, and I'm like, that's insane. Like, we're on stage, like, sometimes it's a support slot where we're on for like 30 minutes max. Like, how did you draw a picture in that time? Is insane. And most people struggle to take a picture because we just move around so much. So like being able to draw a picture, incredible. I love that.
It's very impressive.
So how do you feel that you recharge creatively when you're like having like writer's block or hit a road block?
Yeah, I think for me, I just I start working on something else. Like if there's a song that just it's not getting there, then I'll start writing something else, like move on to the next idea, and usually I'll come back round to it, and or I'll learn a song, because when you're learning your instrument when you're a kid, like you're learning guitar or whatever, I think at some point, sometimes if you're in a band, you stop learning new things. Sometimes I don't know if that's just a getting older thing or whatever. So I'll like pick a song I like or a chord progression that I like, and I'll relearn something new. And sometimes that just, I don't know, unlock something, and then you go back and you've got fresh ideas. I don't know if that's applicable in anything else, but yeah, it's a little hack for me.
Yeah, I really like getting rid of songs as well. Like when we start writing something, I'm like, I'm really not feeling it. I'm a serial like song thrower away. But also you are
catchy title for that.
Yeah, song thrower. Direct Rob. But also when we just decide to like strip it back and be like, let's write a song that's never going to see the light of day, that really, really helps. Because sometimes you kind of get in your own head about like, people have got to like this, but if you just write a song about like ants, like you're good to go for the next track. Then like you'll find a melody that works. You were like, we can use that and rewrite the lyrics.
We do Dartboard of Doom as well, where we have a dartboard in our little studio, and it has a different genre in every single space. And we'll do it acoustic a lot of the time. Like it doesn't have to be like a big thing. So we just throw a dart and then we throw another one, and it'll be like hip hop and country, or like, I don't know, funk and reggae or something. And it's just a great way of being like, don't overthink it right now. Make some chords, make some words. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we just go and run with it.
Yeah, we have like 5 seconds to figure out what that's going to be, and then we just have to get into it. It's good. It's good. It gets the brain going.
Yeah, it's just like panic. I think we can only work if it's high stress, which is a horrible way to live. But I think unless we just like trick ourselves into like, you've got to do it right now, then we get it done, I guess. But yeah, it'd be nice to be relaxed, but hey, it's not for us, I guess.
So speaking of relax, what is next for Air Drawn Dagger? What upcoming projects or plans?
Yeah, we've got on Friday, actually, we've got the first acoustic version of the lead single from our EP coming out. That'll be followed by more like reworks that we've done, which has been nice to creatively get the ball, like just reimagine songs you've done recently. Usually it takes a while to sort of live with them, but yeah, they'll be the first things coming out starting this week. We have more music videos that we've been working on as well to finish off this EP campaign, and we'll be doing our largest ever headliner in February as well in Sheffield. So it'll be our biggest ever hometown show. So we've got quite a lot to keep us busy while we're writing new stuff as well.
That's amazing.
I love a good hometown show.
Oh, I know. Nothing like it.
There is nothing like it.
So I have to get into the videos a little bit. Can you tell us the significance of the blue flowers that appear in many of your videos?
I wish we had a really cool explanation for them, but I don't think we do. I think we wanted something like a while ago. We wanted something that we were gonna sort of stick with, and the blue flowers started working, and we just really love the visual of them. So they've really just kind of become like an emblem of the Church of Dagger. So yeah, we really love that we can stick with that.
I think for us as well, when we started using them, it was a sort of rebirth time for us. It ended up being turning into COVID, which was terrible when you're launching the next phase of what you do. But it did mean that we were creating things as we were going, and it was a kind of rebirth for us. So we started using this sort of like pastel goth imagery, I think, for the sort of like positive aspect with the negative aspect, and flowers that you'd see a lot of like funerals or like something that was quite dark along with quite light. It kind of fit this balance that we have in the band, where we have like the really like grim lyrics with really poppy melodies, and there's always this sort of yin and yang going on, and I don't know, the flowers seem to work with that, you know.
Well, we love it. So we noticed that you tied Stigmata, I hope I'm saying that right, Stigmata with the Ghost 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 video.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
That was an Aaron McKenzie special. He really ran with the idea on that one. I think we did start from Stigmata, and then by the time we'd got to the end of sort of writing how that video was going to go, we were like, why? Like, we'd already had the idea of doing Ghost 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 in that kind of light where it's going to be the ghost, and we were like, wait, these two videos kind of cross paths somewhere along the way. So that's how we started working towards that. And we honestly, like, we tend to be quite on the fly with video stuff, so it kind of built into this whole sort of storyboard as we went along.
Wow, you can't tell. Like, they look so like, I mean, it looks like you put a lot of time and like a lot went into those videos. Like, it's crazy to hear. Like, it is a spontaneous thing.
Yeah, we put a lot of like, but there's a lot of love goes into them. But we do sort of like, we're not against sort of changing on the fly sort of thing. So
that's kind of because we're in this nice spot with Aaron as well. Like, we used to storyboard videos a lot and do a lot of world building. And I think with this EP in particular, we were able to give ourselves like a little more like longer off the leash with it, and just sort of work with Aaron. And because we've got that creative trust with him now, it's like we've used him for all of these videos. So he's like, I've got this idea, and it's like the night before the shoot, and we trust to run with it because I know it's going to turn out well, because yeah, he doesn't mess about. So yeah, it's been kind of nice. My favorite memory of the Stigmata one, though, is you actually having to run through the streets of Sheffield in a heat wave because you were running late, and that's literally the premise of the video. So, but you're like
turned up like ran like 3 miles like in the video outfit to make it on time for the shoot. So I was just like, I can't believe that we're shooting me being late for the video and I'm late for this shoot. It's the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah. So what was was that one of your favorite videos to shoot, or do you have a specific video that you love?
So the Ghost 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 video was really nice to shoot because we really got to build a set for that one, and just kind of see that come to life before the cameras were even turned on. So that was really nice doing that. Personally, I loved filming You Should Have Known Better, just because we got to utilize so many different locations, and that was really one that sort of changed on the fly quite a lot, and we just got to kind of swap creative hats with like we shot that over like a number of days, so we got to just kind of build that as we wanted to, rather than being like, okay, we've got to get this done in like 6 hours, 12 hours. It's like, okay, no, actually we have as many days as we want to get it done.
So it's nice you had a little bit of time for that one.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about your big show coming up at the Lead Mill in Sheffield.
Yeah, it's the Lead Mill. It's going to be our biggest one ever, really. We've never done a headliner like this. So it's a big creative leap sort of for us, but because we love like the theatrical elements and like bringing in immersive stuff, like we've been able to do it in small like club shows before, but because this is that's bigger, and like there's no one to tell us no, really. So we get to sort of any ideas are on the table really for this one, and the supports are great as well. I highly recommend checking out Forum Friends and the Throwaway Scene, because they're just fucking sick local bands that are really doing fun stuff, and it's quite a varied mix again on the lineup. So yeah, we're looking
and
forward
just to recap, in case our viewers over in the UK did not catch it, that is on February 24th.
Yep, Saturday. Yep.
So do you have any surprises kind of that you have?
Show us and find out.
Show up and find out, yeah.
Oh, they're doing it right, viewers. They're not telling us anything. They're going to make everybody come out and see it. Well, I really hope that everybody takes tons of videos, and over in the US we get to kind of see a little bit of the show.
Oh yeah. There'll be tons of footage. We'll make sure of that. You know, and then hopefully we'll get to return to the States. Hopefully next year. We'll see.
Exciting.
So you said in the video that COVID was the rebirth of the band. Can you expand a little bit more on that?
Yeah, we kind of were forced to go away. So before COVID, we were touring a lot, and that was great initially, but we kind of needed to be locked away and be told, please stop touring so much and write some songs. So I think that's kind of how we feel like the Rebirth came about. We were forced to kind of go inward, and just really like work out like what do we want to do with this band, like where do we want to take it, what do we look like once we're allowed to start doing shows and touring again. So yeah, it forced us to kind of just get better on all levels.
Nice.
Yeah, that was kind of it really, wasn't it? Because I think when you started out, we just wanted to be a live band. Like that's all we cared about, was like playing shows. So you know, I mean, that's what we do this for. So we got in the van and we played shows, and that's all we did for a while. And it was like we released as we needed to, but it was always about what's the next show, and then getting put on the step and being like, no one can do that for a while now. So we had to write a ton of material. But as Maisie said, like writing that really kind of made us level up really in terms of what we were writing and production ideas. And like we wouldn't be who we are now if it wasn't for that. And so yeah, hopefully we kind of tried to make the negative into a positive and just use it as a time to grow really.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to hear about the roller coaster ride of being an independent band, especially with touring. And I mean,
yeah, it's much. It's a lot. It's much. It's fun though, isn't it? It is great. I mean, we've got a team around us now, but like we work with an indie label, and you know, management's based in the States and stuff. So a lot of it is still like just us doing what we want, and then now we just sort of run it by a few people to do different stuff. But really, it's still kind of us at the helm, white knuckling the steering wheel a lot of the time. That's sort of it really. But yeah, it's been great, like touring independently, doing like international shows and coming to the States and independently. You know, it's stuff that people don't usually get to do until they're further down the line, but we just never really asked permission for stuff. We've just sort of worried about it later, and yeah, bull by the horns really, hasn't it, Maisie? It's kind of how it's been.
Yeah, like we've really enjoyed being independent. Like just wearing all the different hats, as stressful as it is, like it's super rewarding. Like when you've done something, you're like, we did that, and we were the marketing director and the writers and the producers. It's really cool to like see it all unfold.
Exhausting though.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. And it's really nice when you don't have to do all the stuff yourself too. It's a nice balance.
So what's the significance of your album and EP titles?
All a bit different, I'd say. When they're all like classic. I mean, every album is a little snapshot really of where an artist is and stuff, and I think that's very much the case with us. Early on, it'd be the sort of narrative of what we were building, I guess, around the visuals, and then we did singles for quite a long time that we wrapped up with the zine, so there came the visuals from that. And yeah, I don't know, for this one in particular, I mean, it's quite an out there title really. I remember Maisie, when you turned around, you was like, I think Songs to Fight the Gods to is the winner, because we had a few different ones that were all very similar vein, to be honest. And I was like, I don't know how hesitant I was but I remember, I think because they were all quite aggressive titles, so it was like, yeah, I guess it's probably that one then, isn't it? It's it's balls out there, but the whole EP is pretty, by the throat, so why not?
So we asked your favorite music video, but what's your favorite song to perform live?
That's a tough one. That was tough.
That is really tough. Because I really like doing Stigmata. I feel like I have kind of less technical stuff to do during that track, so I get to just kind of let loose a little bit more. So yeah, I really enjoy doing Stigmata. I don't know how it is for you, Lewis, because I feel like you have quite a lot to do in that song. But
honestly, because it's quite a fast song, I quite enjoy Stig. Stigmata's been a fast one to play. Like, there's a lot going on in terms of because there's not really a big break. We've had to put a break in the middle of it live before the breakdown, just because to give everyone a second to what the fuck's going on. They need that moment, and also because it's time to call for the pit. So we give them the rest and then immediately encourage them to punch each other. So it's been going down really well live as well. So I think I'd pick Stigmata at the minute as well. It's been a setlist favorite.
Now I'm going to leave this pretty vague, but how would you say that your music has evolved since the formation of the band? Since you were first in the cake shop?
Wow. It's evolved a lot. We used to just kind of get from A to B, and we just be like, we write about whatever we want, which is that element is still there, where we just we write what we want, and there's no rules. But now we're a little bit more sort of maybe discerning, we're a little bit more that's actually terrible, let's never show that to people. Whereas before we might have been it's a song, it's in tune, let's go. We have way more production now. We get to work with we worked with Neil Kennedy, who has just leveled up our sound more than anyone else would have done for us. So that's been super helpful.
Yeah, I'd say that's the big element really, of us being able to dive into the production elements, and we're not really scared of that because we had that time to grow and just sort of get things wrong and make mistakes ourselves. That now it's not, we know the pitfalls of that, and we know when is it too many layers? When is it, is it just noise now? Have we stacked the guitars and we've got synth and strings and all this stuff, and has it become trash? That's a question we now can ask ourselves rather than, prior to before. But yeah, I think having a bit more confidence and knowledge of stuff over time has helped us get a bit more adventurous, and hopefully that'll continue as well, whether it's different genres, different sounds, as we go along. Hopefully we get more competent, maybe.
Well, Jesse and we have tons of friends that do the touring thing, including her boyfriend. What is the weirdest thing or the craziest thing that has happened while touring?
Oh man, there's been a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
What's the standout moment? What's the first one that comes to mind?
I mean, it's the naked old men, right?
I didn't know if you're going to bring that up, but
we brought it up.
Go ahead.
I just think it's the standout horrible moment where it's
the worst moment. So
nothing else can beat that. I don't think. We played this terrible bar back in the day, and no one was there, and we knew it was going to be bad because Chumbawamba was playing straight away as soon as we pulled up. Real loud, and it was real empty, and there was nowhere to play. Just go in the corner. There's no other bands, just us. And it was I always get it wrong. What day was it, Maisie? It was like a Remembrance Day, a Memorial Day, something like that. Old army veterans would go out and get hammered.
Okay.
But they were this was a tiny English village. This wasn't a big city centre gig. This was a tiny rural village, and next door to the bar we were playing in, that's where everyone was drinking. So we just start, we sound check, we start playing. We're like, oh, this is going to be one of those early shows you play to 5 people, whatever. We start doing our thing. Then a handful of old drunk men come running through the door, and we're like, oh, maybe it'll fill up a bit. It didn't fill up a bit. They decided to start streaking around the venue. One of them finds it funny to just take his pants off, and then the other old, and I mean old drunk men also.
And there's 7 of them, and eventually there's just these 7 old men with no clothes, still wearing shoes.
Somehow.
And
Did
they're
you just
like,
right through all this?
we just carry on playing. Like, what else do you do? Because there was no stage as well. This venue was so small. It was just like,
it was a floor show.
It was a floor show. Yeah, exactly, a floor show. And these guys were just like, got like their bum.
Oh no! Did she drop out? Dropped out at the worst time.
Yeah, the worst time. But we're back.
Sorry, you were at butthole.
Butthole. So they just had their buttholes out, and like I just kind of had to squeeze myself behind them. I was like still singing because I didn't know what else to do. Like I just went in my panic mode. Was like just carry on singing and like squash
just
behind.
They're not there.
Yeah, I'm not there. Like that was like somehow if we stop playing, this gets worse. I don't know how.
Kinda. So you like hid behind the amps, and there was no like promoter there. There was like only the bar staff, and there was no grown up to be like, this isn't good. So eventually this went on for way too long, and then like this landlady came down and gave us the signal, and we were like, thank Christ someone else is here and has seen this, because I feel like no one would believe us if this. And but that's not where it got. That wasn't the worst bit, really. The worst bit.
It was the worst bit.
How can it get worse?
Well, it carried on, I should say. Then it carried on being worse. So we stopped playing, and then these drunk people are really out of order. The woman who's in charge tells him to put them up. Everyone put your clothes back on. And he's like, I'm 59. I'll take my clothes off if I want. It's not a great response, really. I don't think that argument holds up, to be honest. But anyway, they all begrudgingly start looking around and find their underwear, and they're trying to look for socks and stuff. And there's so much balls everywhere. Like it's a whole thing. And you think, oh, maybe these men would be embarrassed now. Maybe they want to leave. They don't. They begrudgingly no shame. They begrudgingly put on their clothes and they go and order drinks. They just stay. And then in the meantime, while all this is happening, we've obviously just like got out of the way. This drunk woman, what did she want to sing? She wanted to do karaoke. Zombie by the Cranberries, you know. And the sound guy just fucking lets her do it. He just puts it on. And like there's, and I'm like,
what you do?
Yeah, what's going on? She's using Maisie's mic, like she's full.
Yeah, she just does karaoke, hands me back the mic, and the sound guy's like, carry on playing then. So then we have to finish the set.
Because we were like, do we carry on? He was like, yeah, go for it. Like, this is normal. Like, no one's acknowledging how messed up this was. So we play, but by this point, everything's out of tune. We are mentally drained and everything goes wrong. You know, sticks break, strings break, and it's like everything falls apart. And honestly, we've never loaded out of a venue quicker. We had like a 5-minute pack down, paid and gone. And we just pulled up at a McDonald's afterwards, and we were like, still in like stage clothes and everything. Shaking like, that wasn't fine.
How did she do singing?
Yeah, we want to know.
I mean, she was very drunk. It was she could barely stand, so you can imagine how it went.
Oh my gosh, drunk. Oh my gosh.
Of like 10 to butthole, it was better than the buttholes.
It was better than the bumholes, yeah.
So, you know, in terms of the other acts that were on that evening, ourselves removed, yeah, she was a strong second. Probably better than us.
Strong second.
And her set was better. I preferred her set than our set. You know?
We get a lot of crazy answers for certain questions, but that is by far the best story.
I'm glad our trauma has brought you joy.
Wild.
So, speaking of fans, how do you connect with your fans, both online and offline?
We spend a lot of time just at shows talking to people because we're always around. So we're always at the merch stand, or we're always just chatting to people. I find that that's created quite a nice community around. You know, it's like you're always, when you go back to different cities, we're just meeting up with friends. That's kind of how I think it's grown for us a lot of the time, is when we've done a lot of gigging, it's just like making new friends everywhere we go. And then online, we're always, you know, responding to comments, and we're always reading DMs, and yeah, we're quite easy to get in touch with if you want to chat. You know.
Are there any like certain rituals or traditions that you follow before going on stage?
Yeah, I think we all probably have our own, but kind of collectively, we like to do like a little huddle right before we go on, and just just say like the worst thing that you can think of, and then that'll be the kind of the chant, the cheer for the day.
We do have a little cheer. Usually it's something quite gross. Or sometimes it's something nice. Now and again it's wholesome, but you don't like the wholesome ones. You like the disgusting ones.
Yeah, I feel like the wholesome ones put you in a bad place where you just like you get too comfy.
Oh, you guys sound like so much fun. Like I just want to come hang out with you guys.
You should.
Guys are welcome. Guest list for life.
Oh, yeah.
So what would you say has been your biggest challenge that you faced as a band so far? And how did you overcome that?
I mean, last year, I think like it was pretty, it kind of sucked for all of us while we were trying to record the mixtape. My vocals completely blew out for like 6 months. So we tried everything to get them back. We were just like, what do we do if they never come back? Like, so I think like collectively, like that was pretty stressful. Like the guys were super supportive, but at the end of the day, like we had a half finished mixtape and no vocalist. So that was pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. We forgot how you forget once you pass that, like how intense that was, because it was like a strain too. So it wasn't like you think you're back to normal, then it turns out you do loads of takes, and we realize it's like a pitch problem. So it was, and there wasn't really a fix for it. It's just like muscles, you know. You've got to just. It's like most vocalists who have any sort of like scares like that. You just kind of got to rest up and try again next week, or we'll try again next time. And you know, we moved some stuff around, and yeah, you got to roll with it. But yeah, it was pretty hairy, especially for you, because I know like every time Maisie was in the booth, it was like, what's today going to be like? Will this ever come back? Maybe I'm done singing forever. But you do a little cry on the floor, wouldn't you? And then you do your take, and eventually we got it done.
Yeah, I got that.
We got there in the end.
What would you say has been the most rewarding accomplishment of the band?
I mean, I think it was when we did our US tour. Yeah, if you agree. Yeah, we fully like self-promoted that. We booked it all ourselves.
Wow.
And it went like way better than it ever should have. Like people were at shows, and we played some really cool venues. We had like Viper Rooms, and we played like in Vegas. We played in San Fran. So yeah, I think like looking back, like that's one of those things that we did where we were just like, we'll always have the US tour.
Yeah, it's like as soon as you do something like that, or you get to headline a good venue, or you play somewhere really like special to you, it's like if I got hit by a bus tomorrow, I've always done that, and that's I think always quite motivating for us. It's like it doesn't matter how ridiculous or stupid the plan is, or how much it deserves to fail. Like if we do it, we've done it forever, and we're really bad at being like, yeah, but when we're 80, you know, what are we going to remember not doing it or doing it? Like we justify the worst things purely by thinking like, yeah, but when you're 80, you toured, you know, we might never get to do the US, so you may as well just focus your energy on it and then see how it goes. Worry about it later, you know.
Well, I just got a reminder saying that it is late in the UK and to remember that. So I'm gonna jump right in and say, with social media, what is your main social media that you guys are like, if someone's trying to get a hold of you, what's the platform that you use the most?
We're on all of them, to be honest. We keep in touch with everyone, but yeah, if you want to get in touch, I guess Instagram, Facebook, all those things that'll come through, or email us. Let's keep it old school. Why not? MySpace.
All the information is going across the bottom.
Oh yeah.
If you're trying to find. And last, I want to just go over your upcoming shows. Again, on February 24th, you're playing. And can we just go over one more time before you guys get off what you have coming up in the near future?
Yeah, sure. So this week we're going to have a brand new acoustic version of our single You Should Know Better, with a lot more of those coming thick and fast shortly. There'll be new music videos in the new year, and on February 24th we're going to play our biggest ever headliner at the Lead Mill in Sheffield, and tickets are on sale now. Is that everything, Maisie?
So yeah,
I think so, yeah, and there'll be tons more stuff in the new year that'll be announced soon.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on And we definitely have to keep in touch, and down the line we will have you back on to catch up.
100%.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. This has been really fun.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're the best.
have a good night.
They're awesome.
They are so much fun.
So cool.
I can totally like see us hanging out with them, and
I love their music. It's like Paramore meets like Bad Omens. Like, it's very cool. Very like very good. Very good stuff, guys. If you haven't listened to it, then definitely check them out on Spotify and watch their music videos on YouTube. They're so cool.
Yeah, I just love their whole vibe is just really cool. Like their pictures, like even going through, we were having such a hard time like picking what photo to use because they have fun photos. I mean, we were having a blast going through them. We're like, oh, this one's really awesome. Wait, this one. And I mean, like, even they have like a picture of a dagger like drawn in the snow. So cool. I just love it.
That's awesome. And they're awesome, and I'm very happy we have them on.
So I have to talk about Saturday because it was so awesome, Jessie.
Please tell me everything I want to know.
Went to HMAC. It was a just killer lineup of, let me go through them all. Okay. Dinosaurs in Paris. Then there was Magdalene. And Magdalene, they did this whole thing. They were the ones I was talking about. They brought the kids up. I mean, just such a fun show. Then there was Heartsick. Then Traverse the Abyss, which I've seen them once before, and like I liked them, but now like
you love them.
Yes, they were so good. Like with heavy metal music in particular, like it's gotta like hit me. It's just gotta hit me. Like they just came out. They were so good, and honestly, Nailbite was spectacular. Like it was so awesome. Like I saw them when they were playing like smaller venues, and like their growth and just their confidence and just everything, like it was amazing. Like the whole night was just great vibes. Everybody had fun.
It looked so much fun. Like I saw the photos and I was like, oh, I'm so happy they're having a good night.
Yeah, it was very like, it was downstairs at HMAC. So, I mean, it was a more like intimate show, but man, it was so fun. We just had fun. Like every band was just very like, just happy to be there. It was just good vibes. But anything planned?
Yeah. I'm going to see Coven and Lucifer. If you know those bands, they're awesome. And that is going to be tomorrow, which is a Tuesday, at Underground Arts. They are a Chicago late, what is it? 70, 71? Yeah. Is Coven. They're like a 70s band. They're formed in 1960. They're formed in 1960, and they have like a lot of hits from the 70s. Coven, and they're playing at Underground Arts tomorrow, and then the next day I am seeing Deaf Heaven. Yay! Now they're a polarizing band because you either love Sunbather or you think it's the worst thing that ever happened to black metal. I've had people say both opinions to me. I am on the it's a work of art side of that. I'm a Black Gaze fan. And I will say that shamelessly. Some people will be like, oh no, not the Black Gaze. Yes. Yes, Black Gaze. Yes, we love all genres.
Yes, Jessie keeps us so cool with all the genres that nobody else has heard of.
We love Black Gaze in this house. Sunbather is a masterpiece, in my opinion. If there is not room for growth in a genre, then like it's going to be stagnant. And like, so when you have quote unquote like fourth wave black metal bands like Death Heaven, they just keep everything fresh and cool, and like that doesn't mean that we're not going to have these bands like that these like revival bands that are going to play second wave black metal still. We can have bands like Death Heaven, and we can have these throwback bands too. So no hating on Sunbather. I will not.
I'm so all for these bands that are just taking these genres and just twisting them.
I know. I love it. I love when you can have just like when you can have like these new like genre bending bands. I'm a big fan of this, and it's going to be Touche Amore and Death Heaven, and it's for the 10-year anniversary of Sunbather, the iconic album, and I am going to cry probably to Dream House. I had one of the worst days probably of my life, and I watched last year, and I watched the sun come up, and I was looking out the window. I was watching the sun come up, and I had my AirPods in. I was just listening to Dream House, and I said, I finally understand this album. So, I'm really excited for that. It's gonna be
That's so crazy that you are doing that, and then on Friday, I'm going to see Sky Sweet Man with
Are you really? Oh, that's gonna be exciting. I hope she plays Sharada.
Oh, there's so many. Like I can't even get like. I was trying to go through and think like what lineup I would want of songs, and like I really don't care. Like
I'm just so excited.
Yeah, I'll take any. Like I'm so excited.
Where's she from?
Canada.
Canada? Okay, wow.
I have loved her since she was an independent star. Like, man, she is just awesome. Just awesome. Like, I'm so excited. And then it's a busy weekend. And then on Saturday, hopefully you can go to the big fight down in Atlantic City at the Showboat for official celebrity boxing. Special guest Justina Valentine. I'm so excited. I am so excited. And like I got to meet a lot of the fighters when I went down for the calendar thing, and just really fun characters. I mean, what's better? Like the only thing that could be better is if Damon lets me go up and sit in the hot seat and Justina just roasts the shit out of me. Like I love
that. I kind of want to do a roast. I don't know if I'm too sensitive to do a roast. Like I like to think that I'm not.
I wouldn't just let anybody roast me, but Justina, like,
yeah, right.
Dude, she's funny as shit. Like anything that she says, like I'll probably go home and like get a complex about, but in the moment, like I'd be like living it up.
That's my fear. That's my fear about like I think that I would have a great time being roasted, but I could see me texting my friends 3 weeks afterwards at like 1 a.m. being like, did you mean what you said 3 weeks ago?
What do you mean I have big pores?
That's what I was like, yeah, did you really mean that? That would be me. It would be like laying, looking at asleep, looking at him, and did you really mean that when you said that? I know I laughed at the time, but I've just been thinking
I feel like in that particular situation, I'd take it. I would take
I would have a great night. It would be weeks later though. Would be my like you know.
I feel like I have you and Dennis though. Like,
yeah.
You guys are like a really good like hype squad. Like if I were like starting to get bummed about something, you're like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what's in your pores?
It's because you're the best.
It's funny, like I mean, through the years, I mean, there's been different things. Like even my voice. Like, I mean, a few years ago, I'd be like, "You want me to do a podcast? Like, really?" And now, like, I'm used to it. I'm like, yeah, it's who I am.
You don't
you wouldn't believe how many people I talk to, and they're like, "Wow, I wasn't expecting that voice."
Is it because you have a rasp?
I guess.
I was just watching Brooke Schofield on the Cancelled podcast because Tana Mojo has a rasp. And Brooke was like, when I was like younger, I used to scratch the inside of my throat with a pen because I wanted a raspy voice so bad. I remember like because I had a friend with a raspy voice and I was always jealous that she had a raspy voice. And then I was like, because they were like, I don't know, there's something sexy about it, you know?
I like wasn't okay with it until somebody compared me to Alex and Donna from that 70s show. Like,
yeah, no.
Compared me to her voice, and they're like, you sound exactly like her. Like every time you call me, like that's
oh man, now that you said that, you're
everybody. I mean,
yeah.
through the years I have gotten it quite a bit. They're like, wow, like I wasn't expecting that, but
that's exactly who you sound like. That's really cool though. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, like if there could be I mean, I love Alex and I love Orange is the New Black. So I mean, I took it as a total compliment. I'm like,
it is.
My voice is okay. But I mean, there's things through the years. I mean, especially with modeling. Like you got to learn to get past it. Like if I stressed everything that I probably would have, like, I try not to like stare at anything, like, especially when I do it. Like, I try not to like rewatch the show because I feel like then I'm gonna like break it down and kind of like crucify myself. Like, I'm definitely my like toughest critic.
I think we're all our toughest critics. Like, I rip myself apart 800 times a day. And sometimes I'm like, I don't even know why I do that. But I'm also my own biggest fan. So it's like very like whatever. Like I'm the first person to be like, oh, good job when I do something really like minimal. I'm like, I killed it. I did. Oh,
you realize that I'm around a lot of people that like need praise. Yeah. And like I never felt that I was one of those people. Like
I am one of those people. I will text my friends and being like, look what I did. Give me a compliment.
Jackson's the same way. Jackson will see something, he'll be like, aren't you going to say thank you? I didn't have to do that. And I'm like, really? I'm your mom. Like,
you're like, you're supposed to do that.
But yeah, I realized my mom's like that. Like my dad, not so much, but like a lot of the people that are around my everyday life, they need that. And like, I guess I've gotten better at it. But I mean, to the people that are around, like to Jackson and my mom, like it's hard for me to do on a right, like every time they do something. But I have learned to choke it up a little bit and just give them a little.
Bravo. Good job. Yeah.
I've learned that saying it when someone's not having like a moment goes a lot further.
Yeah.
Because like I can tell my mom like every time she like says something, I could be like, you did a good job. Like it won't mean as much as if nothing, like if she's not trying to get it. I don't know. I guess it is kind of like a little game. But
everything's like a little game.
Here's a little praise.
Yeah. Everything, yeah. I need a strategy guide on life.
So next week, I will definitely get my board up. It's next to me. I was just putting the last couple stickers. I just have to. There's 2 more that I need to get. And then I will be ready. But I'm hoping that I have them by next week. But if I don't, it'll be up no matter what. And as soon as I get the stickers, I'll just add them.
Yay.
It's been I have so many stickers on there. Like
I just love what you're doing with your background.
I have a sticker problem.
Amazing. I have some good ones. I have like a cloak sticker, an immortal sticker, and I don't know.
I just saw the red flag, like the red flags, because like whenever I go to like the tattoo convention or like anything, I always like have a whole thing of stickers.
Yeah.
And like even when I was little, like, did you used to have a sticker book?
I don't, but I want one now. Where you can put the stickers down and then you can reuse them.
I always had a sticker book.
Yeah.
Like I would be filling those pages, like every place I went. Like, I need a sticker, I need a sticker. Then I kind of went through the pin phase. I have a lot of pins. Probably could never even wear all the pins. But I like to look at them. So
yeah, you can get pin boards too.
Yeah, I was was it Blackcraft or Killstar? One of them just put out like one of the bags.
Ones. Oh, bags. That's cool.
Because they other people have had them on Etsy, but like they weren't big enough. Like, I have a lot of pins, so I was trying to like find a bigger one, and I might be Blackcraft. I don't know. One of them. I've gotten so many. They're like taunting me with the Black Friday extended sales.
Oh man, I get it.
They're taunting me. They're sending me pictures of items that like I might want, like in text message. Like, I was sitting there the other day and I'm like huffing, and Jackson and my friend are like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "There's stuff that I want and I don't have the money for it. It's almost Christmas," and like
I can't buy any more stuff. I'm like, I'm cut off. No more stuff. So, yeah, Christmas is like, ugh, this year. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
How is this happening? How is Thanksgiving already done?
I know. I'm really not about it. I feel like it was just September, and then like everything's like, I'm too overwhelmed. Like, I want time to slow down. I need time to slow the fuck down. I am too much. Too much for Jesse.
So I have to hear, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was fine. Hunter pissed in the air cleaner, like the air cleaner. So he comes over my uncle's, sees the air filter, and he's done it before at my house. My dog is very smart. Very smart. So I guess he thinks like it was like government tactics. Like,
he was scenting the whole room.
He was like, I don't need to piss all over this house. I just need to piss in that thing. So he pissed in the air filter, which now disperse urine throughout the entire house. It is actually genius. My dog is a brilliant tactician. At the end of the day, that's truly what it is. You know, we had steak and like potatoes, and it was cool. It was just like Thanksgiving. My family's very small, so it's like it was a little different this year because we're missing some people. But especially like my dad passed away, so it was like the first year without him, so it was a little weird. But besides that, it was overall good. Will I be bringing the dog next year to Thanksgiving? That is undecided. based on his behavior.
What did your uncle say when
he didn't say anything? He was just kind of like, he's not the biggest fan of small dogs to begin with.
It always happens that way. I was about to say that earlier. It always happens that way. That like one person that like really doesn't want the dog there.
Yeah.
Like you finally get them to kind of like give in to the like having the dog there, and then the dog does something like unforgivable.
He is like, he's a big dog. He's a bunch of big dogs. He kind of like, he looks at my dog. My dog looks like, and if you've seen, he pops his head in every now and then. He pops his head in every now and then, so you might have seen him. He looks like a stuffed animal that has like been drug around by a child for too long. Like if you ever seen like a kid with like its first like bunny stuffed animal and it's like mangled and like crazy looking and the eyes are like that is my dog. He gets groomed. He is well fed. He is just like old. When they start looking like he's a geriatric man. Still cruising around in great condition. The vet says like that's a good looking old dog, but he's like 12, 13 and he is a long-haired dog. It is giving, like if you've ever seen the crusty white dog memes, it's that, but in black. He is the crusty black dog. He is, but he's so cute and I love him so much. He's my world. But yeah, menace to society, that one. Too smart for his own good. Brilliant tactician. Government should contract him because he's got ideas. But that was my Thanksgiving overall.
So we tried.
I heard
we made enough
about the turkey.
Listen, we made like enough sides for a small community. Didn't have that many people there, but like made enough sides as if we were having the whole town. And got a huge turkey. I think it was 25 pounds, which I don't know. That's a pretty big turkey, like compared to the one like we usually do, like 21, 22. Like, so it was a bigger turkey, and my mom had like started calling me like earlier in the day because I was doing the sides. She was more like doing the turkey and her green bean casserole because my mom's is the best. But so she started like telling me, she's like, it doesn't look right. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, there's not a lot of meat on the wings. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know. My mom's a little dramatic sometimes. So I would thought she was like being over dramatic about like how much meat was on it. Cause like maybe she saw the Costco chicken and like compared them or whatever. But so I kind of like brushed it off through the morning, and I talked to her again and she's like, yeah, I just don't know. And I was like, it's fine. Like, I'll be over there soon. Jesse, I get there. Like, not only did it look like a piece of driftwood that would be in my lizard's tank.
Oh my God.
But the inside was black. Like, black-hearted turkey. Like,
why? I want to know why.
I have no idea. Like, I literally I texted it to like everyone that I could think of, and I was like, this is my Thanksgiving. And the only person that came up with anything was Dennis. He looked it up, and supposedly like if it had like blood left in its muscles or something, like it wasn't, I guess it wasn't like prepared properly. I don't know. But man, it was black. It was like, I always said to my mom, I was like, man, this is like a gothic turkey. Like it was all disheveled. Oh my God. I can't even. And my mom's like, what? You're not going to post your regular pictures of Thanksgiving dinner? I was like, what of sides? And then my poor dad, like, he comes in and he's like just hungry and like the
He's like, I
guys
just want to eat. So
the guys
you
only
guys-
have really like food on the mind. Like everything else is just doesn't matter.
Did
So
you guys just end up having like sides?
so Jackson's sitting there like tapping his foot, like waiting.
Yeah.
He's like, gee, where's the turkey? Like, and we're all like all the adults are kind of like my mom, my friend, and I are like standing around and kind of like checking it out because it was like just a sight for sore eyes.
Yeah.
And my dad walks in and he's like, oh, I don't care if it's black in the middle. Like, I'll just eat around it. And we're like, no. Like, he's like walking out. And then he's like, oh, well, some of the parts would be fine to give to the cat. And like, my parents' cat is like walking past. Like, I'm not eating that. Like,
oh, man.
But, oh my God, I just got it out of the house as quickly as possible. And we had a lot of amazing sides, though. We had a squash like souffle. That was amazing. That was probably one of my favorites. But yeah, I actually like ended up getting a gobbler a gobbler the next day.
So you could get your turkey fixed?
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it was we laughed so hard, all of us.
It's a good Thanksgiving memory is what it is.
Yeah, like it was okay. Like I can chalk this up to a pretty good holiday.
Yeah.
I didn't have to talk politics, so
that's always a good one. That's always a good one. That's always like, we're not doing that.
I'm such an asshole too. Like I like walk in, I'm like, yeah, like let's go. I'm that family member.
I just disassociate. I will disassociate. I will not give it to them. I'll just disassociate through it. I was like, you want to have I was like, if you want to try to provoke me, I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to dissociate the entire time into these mashed potatoes.
I don't get provoked. I get more like, I want to be like, if it's going to be boring and people are going to be like saying stuff under their breath anyway, like I'd rather just like, hey, let's start the fireworks.
Yeah.
But all in good fun. I mean, my family knows I love them. I love you guys. But, and then I always get Jackson. Like, I am usually running late. Like, I mean, it's hard when you've got to like move dishes to a different location. So I'm always like a little bit running behind. So I always send Jackson in first, and I have this like weird turkey hat. I mean, like, it's just great. It's got one of those like old school like round eyes that moves around like.
Oh, that's funny.
That somebody would put in a picture in like elementary school. You'd like glue it on. Yeah, it's got one of those eyes, and it's like a full-blown turkey for his head. So I just make him walk in first, and like my mom can't even help but like smile and be happy seeing the turkey, and it kind of takes it off of me. Now I come strolling in like, oh, I got sides. But your story definitely was more dynamic.
Oh no, the dog just pissed in the field. Like it was. Oh well, you know.
Was it right before dinner?
Oh yeah, of course it was. Of course it was. You know, I had a feeling he was gonna. I knew he was gonna piss. I knew it because he can't like be decent. Like he can't be like if I want him to be good, he will not. But if I don't give a shit, I'm like you shit and piss all over this house. No issues. It's when I bring him places where if I bring him to a friend's house and I like care, he senses that he cannot be bad, therefore bad. But if my friends like if I take him somewhere and they're like, honestly, I don't fucking care. Best behavior. Like he knows when the stakes are high.
I would bring 6 everywhere with me, but she's got an issue with barking.
Yeah.
Like, if there is any kind of food anywhere, she can't even help herself.
Mm-hmm.
She's like running circles, and like Jackson gets so mad because like it's no matter what he's eating. But it's kind of funny when he's eating something that she can't have because the whole time he's like, "You can't have it! You can't have this! Stop barking!" But we love her anyway. She's just very barky.
Yeah. That's what Hunter is. He's barky.
But it's my fault because I always give her like people food.
Yeah.
So I got to deal with it. But
you're like, it's my Frankenstein's monster I created.
But it was funny, like even the episode where I ate the spaghetti balls from Nico's, like I had to literally bribe Jackson to hold on to her, like during the whole episode. And he's like literally sitting in there, and I gave him like all these snacks to like distract her.
Yeah.
Because like the second I sit down in the podcast chair, the dog like she hears it. I know, but yes, I'm talking about you. She comes out and is like right on top of me.
Oh,
like usually before the show starts. For anyone that doesn't see, I mean,
he
is literally like jumping up, licking my face.
What a good baby.
She is good though. Other than the barking. The barking is a little...
will make you crazy. I get it.
But I learned from my grandmother when Jackson was younger. She's like, just dress him in the cutest outfits. That way, if he's really bad, like, he'll still look cute.
Yeah.
So I try to do that. Like, if she's having a really bad day, I try to put her in like a cute little sweater or like something, and she's good about it. Like, she's been my only dog that like legit likes wearing clothes.
What a good baby. Yeah.
Like, she has this little like sweatshirt with skulls all over it, and she'll literally like go and grab it and like throw it in my lap.
Does she bark when people come over?
Or is she'll give an initial couple barks.
Okay. I used to have a dog that would like bark incessantly when people were over, and I'd be like, all right, we're leaving.
It is annoying because if I don't have my phone turned over at night, if my phone goes off, like even if I get a notification and she sees it, she'll do it. We call it her quiet bark, but it's like these like grunts.
Yeah.
That she'll like let me know that my phone's going off. So literally at night I have to turn my phone over, like, and hope that she doesn't see like the glare underneath. But yeah, I mean, with that kind of stuff, she's usually okay. But I mean, food. I mean, she's crazy with food.
That's wild.
Donuts. She will do anything for a coffee roll. Anything for a coffee roll. Like one of those coffee roll donuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are good too.
She'll literally roll over. I mean, I've got her all but talking for a donut. Yeah, we're working on it. But she's really funny. The other day I was watching Selena. Have you seen Selena with Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah, I did, but I haven't seen it in a really long time. Like, I haven't seen it like
at least you've seen it. Like, I've talked to like 4 people that I've told this story to, and none of them have seen Selena. And I'm like, really? But we were doing, you know, when she does the itty itty bumba, like, and she does her little 2-step thing on stage. Well, I was like doing that around my room, and 6 started mimicking me on the bed doing it.
So funny.
Of course, I couldn't get a video because every time I like go for my phone, she stops. But
yeah,
it was hysterical. Like, I was like cracking up because she was like moving her paws. She was laying sideways, like doing the exact same thing. But Well, we're rounding out on time, so
thanks for joining us, guys.
We'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Pretty Little Podcast and hearing our beautiful chaos.
We'll see you next week.